And I thought it was pretty good. We came out and we challenged them to protect the ball, play with good tempo, eliminate penalties, and I thought we did a good job. We didn't outside of special teams errors, we didn't have any balls turned over in offensive plays, and we had one penalty, and the tempo was much improved from the last scrimmage. So overall, I thought it was good. A little bit of a mix-up. Coach mixed it up and challenged some of the backups to go against some of the starters. So it was good competitive work.
Coach Sweeney mentioned that Wayne had another good scrimmage. Is he just distanced himself now from everybody else at this point?
He's distanced himself a little bit, and I would say C.J. Davidson has chased him down the most and kind of closed that gap. But right now, coming out of it, yes, Wayne is at the top, then C.J., and then you got the rest of the guys right behind those two, and we're going to need all of them. And I thought Tyshawn, over the last couple of days, couple of practices, has really started to come on. He's a lot more confident. He's feeling more comfortable. He's running with better pad leverage. And then, C.J. Fuller just continues to find ways to make plays. And then we're just anxious to get Zach and Adam back in the mix.
Will it take Adam a little longer to come back than you may have expected? Is it looking more like he may redshirt?
We still got a little bit of time to fully make that decision, but physically, I think he's there because once he has the ball in his hands, it's just natural for him. Where he's struggling a little bit is just the confidence that, hey, your knee is fixed, the power will come. He doesn't quite have the power, especially in pass protection. So the biggest thing is physically he's there. It's just mentally we got to continue to get him there. And again, you're talking about an ACL injury, for a running back, getting hit on it. You got a knee brace. Things feel a little bit different. So he's had a good camp, and we'll go a couple more weeks before we make that decision.
How did you do on short yardage today, and do you foresee Tyshawn Guy creating a niche for himself in that regard, maybe getting a bulk of the short yardage plays?
Right, short yardage was much more competitive today. And again, we did some things offensively to try and give them a better chance and lighten the box count and just make it more one-on-ones and see who was going to go compete. But I thought they did a better job. It was a lot more competitive. And Tyshawn, again, is running with better pad leverage. And when we recruited him, that what we thought is he was going to be that big back. He's the heaviest of them. But I tell you what, Fuller is a guy that runs with great pad leverage, and he's 210 pounds. He gets down behind his pads and he finds things. So I think we're going to have a good complement of guys and trying to get everybody prepared to run in short yardage situations. Because when you're playing fast, it's hard to sub out a guy on 3rd and 1. So you have them prepared, but then there's going to be certain situations where you have to go get it, then you're going to put the best guy in there.
Coach Sweeney mentioned Jake Morgan today. In reality, how close is that competition between him and Coach?
It's pretty close. I tell you what, he's a football player. He loves it. It's important to him. He's in the playbook. He's studying. Obviously, he still makes some freshman mistakes, but athletically, he's really pushing Joe. And he's up Joe's level of play, and we needed that. Because, again, on the offensive line, the more guys that you can have ready to play and more flexibility you have, the more that you can do.
How is he recovering from that shoulder surgery?
Look, I hadn't noticed any issues with the shoulder. Obviously, he's been out of the weight room a little while but you look at him, he's physically starting to fill out. You see him, playing physical, being violent, creating some movement. So you don't notice the shoulder like you would think.
Tyrone Crowder, how has his fall camp been?
Man, he's had a really good camp. He's back to where we thought he was going to be because there was talks about him as a freshman that he would come in and could be a 3-4 year starter, and then obviously they all go through that transition of their freshman year. But man, he's road grading, he's creating movement, he's smart, he loves and again, it's just the offensive line is a totally different group this year. All those young guys and just their passion to play, they've upped the standard in that room, and so they're all getting better. Our run game is improved, so and it's a compliment to Coach Caldwell and recruiting the right kind of guys, but then also creating that competition daily.
Okay, go ahead.
Garrett Williams has been mentioned prominently by Coach Sweeney and Coach Scott last few practices. Do you foresee him actually getting significant playing time on offense, not just special teams this year?
I definitely can see it. I mean, he's a football player. It's important to him, man. He's always asking questions. Every time you saw him in his downtime, he had his playbook open and he's studying and he wants to do well. He's violent, physical. He's athletic, can catch the ball, so he gives us, kind of that true combination at H-back. Now, he's got a lot of things he's got to learn, but I could foresee him getting some action throughout the season.
I hope it's not a repeat question, but Coach Sweeney was really bragging on Jordan with us a few minutes ago, saying some of these recent practices have been his best. What have you kind of seen on Jordan?
Well, the thing that we've challenged Jordan is to be more physical at the point of attack, and we all know what he's capable with the ball in his hands. He's a big 255, 260-pound guy that can run like a wideout. But he's got to be able to stick his face in there to be able to give us that two-back run game. And he's really, really taken ownership of that. And then he's fulfilled his leadership responsibilities. Before this year, he had guys in front of him like Sam Cooper where they did the leadership and he was kind of the young guy. But he stepped into it. He's embraced it. You know, he hasn't been more vocal, but his practice habits are much improved. And he's trying to do the things that we asked him to do to get better. So I've been very pleased with Jordan.
Has the onset of the spread offense, is it de-emphasized the tight end or just changed what the tight end does?
Well, you know, it just depends on what you classify as spread. Some people that are 10 personnel, obviously they don't play with a tight end. For us, the tight end is the key to the offense because it gives us the ability to have a two-back run game. If you're 10 personnel, 4 wides all the time, then you don't have that extra blocker other than maybe motion a receiver in to cut off the backside. But with that H-back that can give the threat of pass and be a factor and create matchup problems, but then also you can move into the backfield and get into your two-back sets and then also put them on the line. It just makes us very versatile and very hard to defend.
So the key ingredient for tight end is versatility in itself.
In this offense, you know, just if you're going in a pro style, then you want a guy that's a on the line kind of guy where his expertise is blocking and good enough in pass routes. Well, in our system, he's got to be good in pass routes, but then he's also got to have the mentality and the physicality to block defensive ends and linebackers and D linemen sometimes.
And it seems like in recent years, this offense kind of begs for a tight end who catches 30 balls at least.
Well, if you go back to and look at the first year when Dwayne Allen was here, that's what we said was the standard for that position in his offense. A guy that can have 30-plus catches and have 500, 600, 700 yards, but then also is physical enough that you don't have to sub out, but you can put him in there and still get your two-back run game going.